Well, good afternoon. I hope everybody is back and safe. I know that today is Tuesday, July the 28th, 2020, and I'm going to speak to you today a little bit about some of the changes that are going on. And I know that this is such a difficult time for everybody. We've really spent a lot of our time looking at, watching TV and watching all of the commentary about COVID-19 and the rising cases. Today I'm going to kind of share with you, I'm going to start off with that because I think that's been good for everybody to know. Our state of Oklahoma, we have 33,775 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the state. We've had 509 deaths. As you drill down to our county is much better. Our Muskogee County is 387 cases, 16 deaths, and then if you drill down even further, the information that I received online basically shares with us that our Muskogee community has had 273 cases, confirmed cases, and 12 deaths. So you've seen this number go up over time, and it's a very, very big concern. Not only for me, but for everyone in our community, across our state, and then really across our country and world. I mean, there's a lot of things that are really affecting this. And I will say one of the things that is affecting this is really that dialogue or commentary that's happening that's more political. What I'm going to tell you today is that I've really tried hard to make sure that not considering those kinds of things, I'm considering what's best for kids and what keeps people safe. And so I've spent a lot of my time really immersed in data and information to give myself a really good to stay in tune with really what's going on really right here in Muskogee, and really focused on that and really trying to stay away from that political rhetoric that's going on out there. I would start out with three things, and I think I talked about these three things when we first started. I talked about patience, understanding, and grace. This is not a perfect science. You will see that the things that we're doing, we're trying to do the very best with the information that we receive. We listen to the State Department every week. The State Department of Education does a great job of really getting out to us and really doing what are called Zoom calls. We have Zoom meetings actually every week. Superintendents from across the state talk with Joy Hoffmeister, our state superintendent, and she's able to provide us really with some up-to-date information. Of course, the local health authorities, I'm going to tell you the Muskogee County Health Authority has really stepped up and done a great job of really putting stuff together and really trying really hard to give us really solid, accurate information, which has really been helpful for us as we've gone through this. The other thing that's happened is the CDC, or the Centers for Disease Control, is also something that we're paying attention to quite often. The CDC, however, is giving us a lot of information, so it's hard to kind of get through and wade through all of that information. So it's been good to have our local health authorities and really the State Department of Education providing us with great information. Understand that we've really designed the very best plan we feel is the right thing for Muskogee. I think the thing that is happening a lot right now is a lot of people are talking about, well, this school district over here is doing this, and this school district is doing this, and maybe somebody in another state is doing something completely different. We feel like that the plan that we've put together fits what we're doing, where our current conditions are. And I know that some of the things I'm going to share with you are not particularly positive or something that you wanted, but I would ask for your understanding of that and patience. And then the last thing is grace. I think it's really important for you to understand that we were really trying hard to build this thing and build it the right way. And what I mean by that is building a plan that works for our kids, works for our parents, and works for our staff. You can see that you have choice. One of the things that we felt very strongly about is we got really busy and really tried hard to provide a program that was really a virtual program, something that was outside of the traditional day-to-day. And so I think that was really big for us to try to put together a plan for that, and you're going to see those numbers actually today. The board approved today, we had a noon special board meeting today, and one of the reasons we did that, last Tuesday, a week ago from today, we had a regular scheduled board meeting, and in that board meeting, we had talked about in open session very, very candidly with the board about really the instructional calendar, what needed to happen, should we start later, should we abbreviate it in any form or fashion. We had really originally put forward that we might start on August the 12th. And what they did, they said, you know, why don't you go back and look at all of the options, talk with others, and really come back with a solid plan. So today, we were able to bring that calendar to the board for their consideration and ultimate approval. So that happened actually at noon today. So let me kind of give you the specifics of that calendar. I know that hopefully as we look at this, you'll be able to kind of get an idea of what the calendar is going to look like for next school year. The start date has changed from August the 12th to actually August 31st. I know that is quite a couple of weeks later, so the plans have changed quite a bit with that thought process. The reason we've changed that date is it gives us more time. It gives us more time to get prepared as staff and teachers, and you might say, gosh, you guys have had lots of time, and I realize that might be the sentiment of a lot of people, but you got to realize that people have been really quarantined, have not been back in school really since March. So we've really worked hard to try to make sure that we get the right people in the room to make some decisions. And so August 31st is really our time that we're going to begin. This will be the first full week of school. It will start Monday, the 31st, and we will go through the 4th, which will be a full day of school. We will then go to the second week. The second week we have Labor Day, which actually is the 7th of September. And then 8, 9, 10, 11 are 4 days of virtual. A lot of people have said, well, why are we doing that so early? Why do that at that point in time? What we felt is that it gives us a full week of school in person. It gives us a chance to begin to develop relationships with our students, to connect with our kids, making sure that we get all of our devices out, our hotspots, those kinds of things. And then those 4 days are giving us a chance to really work with our students online. So the first 9 days, the first week is 5, and then the second week is the 4 days. It gives us a really good view of what the year is going to be about. So it almost gives us a time to really kind of consider all the training and all the things and kind of get used to what potentially the rest of the year will hold. The interesting thing about this calendar is you'll see that we really did a lot of what I call front loading of a calendar. We typically have done convocation, which is kind of a get together of all staff in one location. And then from there, we've done a couple of days of professional development, and then we start school. This is a time that we are putting all of our professional development days at the front end. So 5 of those days, which are mandated, 5 of those professional development days, we are going to do virtually. So all of our staff will come to work. Everybody will be located, teachers and all of our staff will be located at their respective sites, and basically professional development will be given to them remotely. The reason we've kept the same date, 3rd through the 7th, is because we had already started scheduling people to come in and speak and do those kinds of things. So this is very much a conference style of conference that we're going to do just within Muskogee Public Schools. So that will be those first 5 days. The next week, which is also on our calendar, is the 10th through the 14th. And those are what are called teacher work days, and they are also those days that actually give us a chance to meet with parents and students. You might say this, you might say, okay, I get that, but how are we going to do the meet the teacher and all of that? What we want to do is give a full week of time for our teachers to get their classrooms ready, but also to prepare the parents, the kids, and all of them so that they can go up, maybe meet their teacher, and really have an opportunity to social distance and really make sure that we have plenty of room and space. So what we're doing at that point is basically that week, each principal will send out messaging to all of the staff, to basically that staff, and also the parents of each one of the sites, and they will develop their own schedule. So for instance, if you're at Creek Elementary, it may be that all the 5th grade is going to be on Wednesday afternoon. You'll be able to come up and meet your teacher, get your supplies, etc., and do all of that. So those schedules will come out that week, and we'll be able to do that. Actually, those schedules will probably come out next week when the principals begin to develop that. So a teacher work week is going to be really important. Getting that information to everybody is really important at this time. The rest of the days, you'll see that there's 27 virtual days, and a lot of people have said, why are we doing so many virtual days? Well, let me kind of turn it back around and say this. There are schools right now that are starting virtually. So it's going to be very, very difficult to even develop that relationship, to get those supplies, to do all of those things. They're going the first 9 weeks and doing virtual. So one of the things that we felt was we really are trying to, if you will, dip your toe in the water, maybe go a little bit of time and give us some time off. So if you'll look, there's sporadic times. About every 3-4 weeks, we're taking an entire week off. The other thing that is really interesting about this is that if you'll look at the dates, we put the dates of virtual around holidays, and we put them around natural breaks. So it wasn't a situation to where we just picked a week. I know that in second semester it was a little bit different, but it has been really a time for us to really go to school, make sure that we're being safe, everything's going well, then take some time off and giving ourselves back and forth time. You will notice that there's no late start Wednesdays. Those have always been in the district for quite a few years, actually. And these were for professional learning communities. Our teachers used to get together, talk about student work, talk about different things that they could do in the classroom and best practice. We still believe that's important, but this year it just doesn't fit really with what we're doing. And then the last thing I will say is you'll notice that there's no more inclement weather days. So the old days of waking up early and seeing if there's going to be a snow day, if we do have an inclement weather, we'll go immediately to the actual virtual days. So really, it looks like the calendar really fits what our needs are. I believe our last day is actually the 27th. So we're really trying hard to not go into June because mentally that's pretty tough to go all the way to June just because of all the things that we've always done in education. So hopefully you can understand why the plan was developed and designed in the way it was. The next thing I want to talk about is the return to school plan, and that is pretty, there's volumes of information. Looks kind of like this online, and I really want you to make sure that you read through that. There were some modifications actually that we made this week and made a recommendation. The board approved that today. The big thing is on page 6. If you happen to be looking on page 6, or if you wanted to go there, there is new language about masks. We are requiring all students and all staff to wear a mask, 3rd grade through 12th. Now, if you recall, we had done that really from pre-K all the way up, but after further conversations, review, we felt like that it was going to be really hard for early childhood students to keep their mask on, especially most of the day. So making sure that you understand that 3rd through 12th will be required. And then we also said that 2nd grade, 1st grade, kindergarten, and pre-K would have, they're encouraged, strongly encouraged, but not required. Buses. We will require masks on buses. It is very important that we wear a mask. We will have, the windows will be down for circulation on the bus. So make sure that you know that if you are riding a bus that students must wear a mask. Underlying medical conditions. A lot of students may have some type of medical condition that would require them not to wear a mask. So I would say you'll need some medical documentation from a physician to do that. If you're asking, how do I do that? What you'll need to do is talk to your principal and bring that documentation to your principal. So that will be very important for you to look at. That's really the biggest thing that's really changed in that document, but I wanted you to have that information in case there was something that you wanted to ask even later today. So let's go to the e-learning academy. Boy, I tell you what, everyone has been very, very interested in this. We started 3 weeks ago, the e-learning academy, and we opened it up. We had started. We've been planning. Even back in the spring, we were really planning to do some type of stronger, more robust virtual plan that we could provide to students. And this is a great opportunity for our kids to really do things remotely, but still be involved in activities. So if you want to be in the band, or you want to play football, or if you want to be in the choir, a drama student, whatever, you can still do those things and still be in the e-learning program and still have a teacher that is from Muskogee. So that was one of the things that was really important to us. As to date, right before I walked in here, I got the new numbers, and we have 1,100 students that have filled out paperwork. Their parents and the students have filled out paperwork to be e-learning students. And what I would say is that is fantastic. It's about 18% of our entire student population. When you figure that we have about 5,500 students, and you have 1,100 that actually sign up for that, it's almost a 20% that really have said, really for different reasons. Not all of it has been for the fear of COVID and the spread, but some of it has been they feel like they will learn differently and they learn even better in that environment. So I'm really glad that we were able to provide this kind of opportunity. One of the questions has been, gosh, I signed up 2 weeks ago, but I haven't heard anything from anybody. You're okay. It's okay. Nobody has really made any contact. What we're really trying to do is get to the 3rd. We will close down the enrollment process for e-learning on August the 3rd. August the 3rd is this next Monday at midnight. You'll have to have that done by that day. Once it turns to August the 4th, we're cutting it off. And you may say, gosh, that's kind of harsh. That's hard. Why are you not opening up a little bit longer? The reason is we've got to know so that we can begin to plan for our staff. When you have a program like this, you have to staff for it, and making sure that we have plenty of time to make sure that we have our staff properly placed to do that. So we will not extend that. We will keep it as is on the enrollment type, or on the enrollment side. E-learning begins the same time as everybody else. So e-learning will start August 31st, that Monday, and you will go all the way through, and basically you have the same breaks or the same holidays as the students that are in regular school, in the traditional school setting. So you basically will go really from August 31st, you'll go all the way into fall break, and you'll have 2 days off there, and then you'll go through and have a break there. Actually, you'll have Labor Day, and then you'll also have the break for fall break, and then Thanksgiving, and then winter break. So hopefully that helps everybody understand kind of the e-learning calendar, which really really mimics or mirrors the one that we're doing with our traditional. Don't forget that we're hiring highly qualified Muskogee Public School teachers. These are teachers that are our teachers that will be e-learning teachers. They will use 2 curriculums, okay? We're going to use Edmentum, a group called Edmentum that will be utilized for 6th grade through 12th grade. The kindergarten through the 5th will be used for what's called Calvert Learning. And so those 2 models will be utilized. Our teachers will have access to this. You can expect a lot more work and a lot more time from the teacher actually in this program. What this is going to require our e-learning teachers to do is come to work and come to school every day. So for instance, if there is a teacher that is an e-learning academy teacher at Creek Elementary, that teacher would come to Creek every single day, and they would spend a full day. They would actually be online maybe 2 or 3 times during that day. They'll answer questions. They'll do all of those kinds of things and be accessible to those students. So we're really excited about the opportunity, but we also know that there'll be some times that it will be hard. It will be difficult. I want to also mention this. You know, last year was so fast that we had to pivot quickly, and we had to really go to a different kind of learning model. And this year, I'm going to tell you that because of that, it kind of gave us some bad habits. For instance, students that had really good grades, some of them may or may not have logged in. So grades were tentative, lessons were tentative. We didn't do probably as solid of a job. And now we've really been able to dig in and really figure out that we've got to provide a great type and great model of education. And that is, we're going to give grades, there's going to be attendance, you'll have to get online every day by a certain time. All of these things will be explained to you by your teacher one-on-one. So we will actually reach out to every student and parent that signed up for e-learning. You'll know who your teacher is. You'll know kind of what you're doing and moving forward. I know that a lot of people have said, you know, how do I get my my hotspot and my computer and all of those things? I know those are really pending right now, but what we're trying to do is make sure that we have the final number and that we get prepared for that, and then we'll be doing that week that we have the teacher work week. So want to make sure that you understand that and knew that. So at this time, we have Steve Braun, our Director of Communications and Marketing. He's here with me today. What he's trying to do is kind of look at some of the questions on Facebook, and I'll take a few of those questions at this time. So, Mr. Braun.
First question, will pre-K have the option of e-learning, and what will that kind of look like?
Yes, the question was, will pre-K have the option of e-learning? And that they will. We are doing a completely different curriculum for them, so it will be kind of a different style, but yes, they will have that opportunity, so that there's nothing lost in that. So we will be reaching out to those that actually sign up.
Can students do e-learning in the first semester and then move to in-person for the second semester if they wish to do so? Great
question. Question was, can students move from one to the other? I want to make this very clear. Within the semester, you have 2 weeks at the beginning of the semester to get out of one or the other, okay? So, but once you're in there, you have to stay for an entire semester. Second semester, if you're in e-learning and you want to go back to traditional, that is available, and that will be an opportunity. The same is if you were a traditional student the first semester, and second semester you want to go to e-learning, that's okay as well. So we're going to be flexible with that, but we also want to make sure that everybody knows that we've got to shut down the enrollment, and then if it's not for you, and say you start out for a week or two and basically e-learning is just not what you thought it was going to be and you want to go to traditional, we're going to allow you to do that.
Will teachers be at school during virtual days?
Will teachers be at school during virtual days? The answer is yes. The virtual days will be regular contract teacher days, and we will ask every teacher to be in their building and in their classrooms on those virtual days. So yes, that's something that's a little different than we've had last year. Of course, if we have inclement weather and we choose to do a virtual day from home, that's a possibility, but on regular days, so for instance, that second week when we go to virtual, the students will be at home, but the staff will all be in their classrooms, working from their classrooms with students.
IEP students, how will they be served by e-learning?
IEP students, great question. Students that are on IEPs, we'll individually make sure that we're meeting with each one of those parents and students that want to do e-learning. I think what I would say too is that I think you're going to have to look at the type of instruction and the type of curriculum that we're going to be doing and see if it fits your child. So we will not only speak with the special education teacher, but also the regular education teacher and determine what's best for that student. But it is an option if special education students want this e-learning style of learning.
Going back to virtual days on the calendar, what about athletics, other extracurricular activities, concurrent enrollment? How will that function on those virtual days?
Concurrent enrollment is kind of a different animal. Concurrent enrollment, you can do that. We're still working with Connor State to make sure that we can make this and make this a doable situation. And they've said it's not going to be a problem. So we're excited to offer concurrent enrollment. There may be days that we have virtual or days that we have traditional that you still will have to comply with that professor and what they're asking you to do. So, but there's definitely an opportunity for our students to continue to have concurrent enrollment.
Will Chromebooks be provided for e-learning students?
Yes, the Chromebooks really are going to be provided for every student in the district. So it doesn't matter if you're an e-learning academy or if you're a traditional student, you're going to be provided a Chromebook and have the ability to interact in that manner.
Will meals be available on virtual days?
The question is, will meals be available on virtual days? The answer is yes. But here's the deal. We will have students that will have to come and get those. We can't.
That's for e-learning.
For e-learning, yes. So for e-learning, they will be available for students that are in the e-learning academy. So they'll have a chance, but they'll have to come and get those at their school sites. And so, of course, the traditional will be just like anyone else. And then on the virtual days, what we will do is our plan right now is to provide opportunities for kids to actually get meals during virtual days. So we'll have more information to you on that as we get closer.
That's about it.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, I know that these have been wildly popular. I mean, a lot of people have really appreciated the information, us coming out virtually and making sure that people can ask questions in real time has been valuable, not only for the community, but really for us. We're trying really hard to make this a situation to where it's safe, but also doable. I want to also say that thank you to all of the people here at the Education Service Center. They've worked really hard to really put a plan together that works. We have child nutrition staff that are out on corners still serving students. I mean, we literally serve 1,000+ meals a week to students that really either any other way would not have food. So I really do appreciate them, and we look forward to a new school year. We will see you on August the 31st. Before then, we'll probably have one more time for us all to get together, a town hall meeting to really talk about any other questions that you might have. But I really want to say thank you. I appreciate you, and we'll tune in some other time. Thank you.